on YouTube, and I hope that other participants will join soon. And let me check.
Okay, physical, we have our participants.
I
They are
hope
having their
the other
refreshment. So,
participants will join soon. And let me check.
okay, physical, we have our participants. They are.
Okay, so physical participants already arrived. Am I right?
Yes, they are arrived. They are having a refreshment. So to let them enjoy their refreshment, and I'm calling on.
Okay, so please, because first we need to do the physical session and then we will come to the online session.
Thank you. Thank you. Just give me a few minutes. I'm calling on them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have your presentation and the device or an email?
I didn't send, but
So far, it's fine. Yeah, thank you. Could you email with it, please? Everyone signed here? All of you have signed?
yes, we did.
I'll download your. It's okay, no problem. I will ask them to clean. It's completely fine, no problem. It's always happen. Oh, sorry. Since this is the hybrid conference, so I guess many of our participants are online at the moment. So soon we all will say hi and welcome to them as well.
Yeah. So we are waiting. Maybe some other participants will also join soon, and uh, let them join uh, slowly as we are just preparing for the physical session first, and we will come to the online session. So they have time, no problem.
There is a signature. Dr. Benjamin. Oh.
And online participants, can you please add the last 3 digits of your paper ID to your name on the screen?
Yes, can you confirm if it's okay like this, please?
Yeah, your is good. Your is
Okay,
good.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Mushtaq, can we start it now?
I'm waiting for our participant to give us the presentation slides. So just a second.
Okay, thank you.
The email, the presentation slides.
Okay.
You have already sent me? I received one. I think it's yours. Yeah, sure, sure. Because Dr. Shakeri will start a keynote speech in the chair session. So I see only two presentations. Okay, Claudia also arrived. Do we have a Charlene? Okay, I'm waiting for your presentation. You are the first presenter. Did you email me? Oh, that's yours. Okay. And then Benjamin?
Yeah, I already sent it.
You sent it already. Let me check. Or okay, arrive. Okay, then Lolita. Dr. Shakir, can you allow us to share the presentation as well?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please. I already allowed. And is it ready now?
Yes, we are ready. And
And so
we,
let me start it. And
sure,
first,
you share your presentation first. Okay, as you
just
proceed.
wait a while, please. Just let me welcome all of you, all the participants, with the good morning. I am Dr. Shakir, and I have the honor to be the coordinator and moderator as well as the session chair for the online session. Uh, it's a great pleasure to welcome all of you to the International Conference on Social Sciences, Humanities, and Digital Transformation. This conference is organized by the International Institute of Academic Research and Publication in collaboration with Globento. We are fortunate to have such distinguished group of scholars, all of you, uh, who will contribute to this vibrant session discussion throughout this session. And I'm happy to see Dr. Mushtaq from Unity University, Malaysia, who will be leading the physical session and who will also assess all the live presentation as well as the physical presentations. Uh, Me as well will evaluate all the live in the physical presentation, and based on this evaluation we will provide award in the form of certificate. The assessment criteria is quite straightforward. We check the quality of the paper content, presentation skills, time management skills, audience engagement, and the ability to offer constructive feedbacks to other participants. So I trust that all the participants have already received the program schedule and additional instructions for this session. Please note that each presentation will be allotted 10 minutes with additional 5 minutes for each presentations, for each presenter for question and answer. And once all the presentations are done, including the live and physical, all the presentation, we will open the floor for Q&A session, and you will be invited to ask questions, or if you want to provide some feedbacks or suggestions to other participants. I also, this is important to mention that those who already submitted their recorded presentation, please note that these will not be played live, but will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Later, I will share the link in the chat box, and you can have access to that link. But if some presenters still wanna present their presentation, or if their universities really require them to present or to play it live here on Zoom, they can do so. That's not a problem. So again, I need to remind that Q&A session will be at the end of both session, offline and offline session. So you can keep noted your question and suggestion, and then you can come to participate in the Q&A session. So we are really excited to have you with us and hope you enjoy this session. Without wasting the time, let's start the session. But before that, it's quite important. I need to introduce you with the organization who organized this conference. Let me share my screen. And yes, where's my short PPT? Let me check. Okay, is it visible to everyone?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is IIA.
Dr. Shakir, could you open your camera as well so they can also see you?
Okay, sure. Okay, sure. Let me check my PPT. Mm, Okay, so is it visible now?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you so much. This is IIARP, the International Institute of Academic Research and Publication. IIARP is a dynamic conglomeration of academia and professional, which is dedicated to promote research and innovation, making a significant global impact. And the primary objective of this organization is to unite researchers, scholars, professionals from around the world, fostering intellectual development and facilitating opportunities for networking and collaboration. This organization is actively engaged in various academic activities, including networking events, meetings, conferences, workshops, research projects, and additionally, we are committed to publishing cutting-edge research publication and recognizing outstanding achievements through different activities such as academic awards and scholarships. These are some of our associates and partners. Is you can see the Glevento, Conference Alert 360, and manuscript edited by IIARP. So what basically we do, uh, we connect scholars with the global community, researchers, scholars, and industry experts. We are involved in connecting all these people through our academic activities, including the conferences. We are involved in national and international conferences. International level, and we are involved in academic publication in different journals, peer-reviewed journals. Yeah, these are the main activities of this organization. We are involved in worldwide conferences and organizing worldwide conferences, and this organization is well known around the world, dedicated to fostering a global scientific and academic collaboration. And we have a rich history of organizing international and national conferences in different cities around the world, such as including South Asia, Bangladesh, Egypt, India, Indonesia, East Asian countries, and USA, and many more different cities around the world. So here are some of the opportunities for the participant. you can see that if you want, your abstract will be published in the conference proceeding book with a DOI number. And if you also want to publish your manuscript, you can choose to have publication in peer-reviewed journals that are indexed by Google Scholar, Dow, and many other important databases. Uh, you can also publish your paper if you want. And for the complete publication guidance, we will provide our contact, and you can contact our publication team. They will guide you step by step how to do that. You can prepare your manuscript for Scopus and Web of Science index journals as well. If some manuscript really need the editing services, so if really you need that editing or other related services regarding the publication, we also have this service, and we can support you in that. So later I will share the contact, and you can contact our team for all these services. So here are some of the things you need to keep in mind if you really want to submit your papers to a Scopus or Web of Science Index journal. You need to have a plagiarism free paper, mostly like below 10%. That's important. Uh, the second one is not very important, that one author need to be a qualified researcher, such as he or she need to be a PhD. That's not necessary, but in some journal they need this, such as some of our two, three associated journals. They need this, such as F1000 Research or other journal. They need this kind of thing in your paper, in your manuscript, that you need to be a qualified researcher. You need to be a PhD, at least, yeah. But some other journals, they don't need this one. Also, you need to have your manuscript in English, not other languages, because we don't have journals in other languages. We only have journals in English. Yeah, you also need to follow all the ethical guidelines while conducting and preparing your manuscript. That's also one of the most important aspect of your manuscript. You need to make it sure. Yeah. Yes, so you also, in some cases, in some journals required, you need to provide the associated data of your manuscript, and or they will publish the data alongside with your manuscripts. Only some journals need it, not all the journals. These are some of the examples of the manuscript we published recently in Scopus, Q1, and Web of Science Index journals. These are some of the glimpses of our previous conferences online as well. You can visit our website www.iiarp.org to explore more. One thing more, for the physical and online participant, we will send the proceeding in soft copies. This is very important to be environmental friendly. Other things such as the certificates we already printed, and it will be delivered to the physical participants. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's all from my side. And now, Dr. Mushtaq, can you please just invite one by one the physical participants uh, based on the program schedule? And after that, then I will invite the online participant one by one, and this way we can move forward to the uh, end of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shakir, for introducing me. Let me introduce myself with my physical audience as well as just my colleague, Dr. Shakir, has introduced me. Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed, a PhD in engineering, and I'm associated with Energy University, Malaysia. Okay, once again, I would like to welcome all of you also from the Malaysia side in Kuala Lumpur. Thanks for joining us here, and I will also wish all of you for having a best presentation. I hope so. This presentation session will be successful, and we all of us will be enjoying the presentation from the different perspective. We've been listening presentation possibly from the management, education, social science, and culture. So now, thanks again. I would like to invite our first presenter, and she is Charlene. Please, could you join from here so they can also see you? Or you want to present from there? Yes, please. I'm sharing your slides here. I hope the slides are also shared with our virtual participants. You can keep your laptop over there. This is your.
My notes visible now.
You want to use what, sir?
Are my notes visible? Right.
Yeah, it's.
It's a camera is open. Let me confirm from the virtual audience, the slides are shared with everyone, right?
So my notes are visible. Likewise.
Yeah, it's visible. Please proceed. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to be here today to share our research and experiences on a topic that sits at the interaction of indigenous knowledge, environmental stewardship, and self-determination. On behalf of my co-author, Engineer Michael M. Perez, I am presenting our research titled Community Mapping and Resource Inventory of Dumagat's Territory in Dingalan, Aurora Province. Okay. I am Shirlene G. Ambida Alejo, an assistant professor one from teaching physics and mathematics from College of Arts and Sciences, Department of Sciences and Mathematics, Lyceum of the Philippines, University, Manila Campus. Okay, to start with, let me
You can just this one.
okay. To start with, let me read in full our abstract. Securing legal recognition and protection on territorial boundaries and land rights have been the continuing problems to the indigenous peoples around the world. This paper aims to support the aspirations of indigenous Dumagat peoples in Sitio Cailogan, Barangay Matawe, Dingalan, Aurora, Philippines, to preserve their ancestral domain and promote sustainable development and protection plan. The study ensures documentation of their special extent and boundaries, as well as their interactions within the land, from their points of view and unique experiences. Qualitative methods through participatory mapping and in-depth community interviews, integrating with 3D mapping and GPS for precise location tracking provides one, a comprehensive map with the actual terrain, and two, inventory of their natural resources. So these research mapped key land features and boundaries, such
Sorry,
as
your slides are not moving. We can just see the first slide. I don't know what's the issue.
okay, okay. And this one. Oh, wait. Let me please like machine.
Okay, this is now the third one. Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me thank you, sir. Let me continue. This research mapped key land features and boundaries, such as sacred sites, forests, water sources, agricultural zones, and lands that are acquired by non-indigenous peoples. The the resource inventory includes the identification of flora and fauna, wildlife habitats, and their interactions within the landscape, and traditional land use practices that have sustained the community for generations. These indigenous land maps will empower the Dumagat peoples from the continuing threat of land encroachment and other external forces like deforestation and unsustainable development. This can also help the community in their petition for protection under heritage law. Our study focuses on community mapping and resource inventory, two powerful participatory tools increasingly used by indigenous communities to assert their land rights and manage the resources. According to some of the studies, may I quote from Ratanak in 2009, he defined that community mapping is a participatory process where members of community collaborate to create maps that reflect their knowledge, experiences, and interaction to their landscape. And he added that community mapping empowers indigenous communities by documenting their traditional territories, which can be used to secure legal recognition and protect against external threats. And the second one, resource inventory of a territory according to a Springer Nature Link in 2024. This is a list or database of the natural and cultural resources within a specific area. And
Sorry,
integrating with
you're still on slide 3. I don't know why it's not moving.
oh my gosh.
I think you don't need to get on the script. You can look script.
Let's see. Right. How about now, sir? Is it visible? Hello?
Yeah, it's slide 4 now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, the integration of modern technologies like GIS and using of Google Earth as 3D mapping is a powerful tool that allows one to visualize and explore the world in 3 dimensions. And integrating it with traditional mapping practices has enhanced the accuracy and utility of community maps. This combination allows for more effective resource management and planning. May I just share with you our research design? We triangulated the traditional methods, which are the community mapping tools and in-depth interviews to the modern techniques like into creating 3-dimensional maps. As an introduction, our research locale was is at Kailogan in Dingalan, Aurora province. We employ qualitative research, the descriptive and exploratory, specifically utilizing community mapping tools like the participatory mapping and field surveys. And we also we primarily uses indigenous knowledge systems and practices from the in-depth interviews. We utilize also participants' observation and the modern techniques like GPS tracking location and the 3D maps, like the Google Maps. And our site, I mean, is in again in Sitio Cailogan, Cabog, Dingalan, Aurora, Philippines. So this is the research problem. The Dumagat
You
community.
did have a discuss your research problem in the abstract. So due to the
Okay,
lack of the
sige.
time,
Okay, no problem.
I would request you go to the result section.
Okay. For the results and discussion. So first we have the participatory mapping. We're able to draw the showing the territorial boundaries and the areas that were sold already to non-indigenous peoples. With the assistance of the community elders, the extent of buying and selling some of the areas considered as their ancestral domain were assessed. So this is the participatory or community mapping. And for the field surveys, we only we do not conducted we not only conducted field surveys together with the Dumagats to map the territorial boundaries, but we also identified the flora and fauna along the way. But this is I'm showing right now the initial stage of our resource inventory. And to name a few, we have here from the flora, we have malaklak in their vernacular or in their local name in Dumagat vernacular language. It's Malabayabas or Philippine tech. They have alkaak, which is nato or canary wood. They also have ebeno, and it's kamagong in English, or rakod. We also have rakod, which is balete in English. They have salong, which is alamasiga in English, and asana, nara, salupige, which is ipil-ipil. They have pugahan, which is
Sorry, you have
fish-tail
3 more
palm.
minutes, so
Huay,
please
which is
conclude.
ratan,
Okay.
apit. And then for the fauna, I'm just giving you at least four. They have from the fauna resource, they have baboy ramo, and then it's eagle or benoy in their vernacular language, and then benias, or it's a snake. I'm going to putting the English, the proper English term, and butbut, which is the Philippine eagle. Okay, from the in-depth interviews, we have seen some of the persistent challenges, which is, of course, the buying and selling of lands. This has been, I mean, this persisted during pandemic time, where they were forced to sell some of their lands to non-indigenous people to sustain some of their basic needs like food, and some have reason that they were compelled to sell because there are members of their family who were hospitalized during the crucial times. And then the second challenge that we have seen is the issue about encroachment with plantation of vegetable. It replaced like it replaced the traditional or endemic trees for some non-indigenous people who have both the lands. They put they have plantation already of like calamansi or some of the vegetable that are being sold commercially.
Come to the conclusions.
And then pollution due to increasing number of carabaos. There are fiddle head ferns and crablets that are being commercialized by non-dumagats who goes up to the mountains to get these. The water flowing through Kailogan River were not that strong anymore due to a long tube pipes connected from the source of their parcel lands. Accessibility of Kailogan through the creation of farm to market road became disadvantageous to the dumagats. And there are sustainable practices like diving and fishing net, which are being replaced by electricity, which are introduced by non-dumagat or non-indigenous people. And we also have observed those who have bought the land, they installed long water pipes from Panaga Falls. Panaga Falls is their sacred site to non-dumagat acquired land, constricting the flow of the Kailogan River, and even diverging it into smaller and shallower and almost dry, what they call that, streams. And for the data analysis, due to financial circumstances, okay, let me for the conclusion, the participatory mapping and resource inventory revealed the extensive knowledge and sustainable practices that the Dumagats in Dingalan, Aurora province employ in managing their land and resources. However, the community faces mounting threats from external forces such as land encroachment and climate change. The data collected in this research provides a foundation or baseline for future advocacy, sustainable development, and conservation efforts. Through the corroboration with the Lyceum of the Philippines University's advocacy, Taguyod Kalikasan. What is Taguyod Kalikasan in English? Sustainable environment. Return to them or we buy back their lands. With the proper support and recognition, the Dumagats in Dingalan, Aurora province can continue to protect their territory and preserve their cultural heritage for generations to Kasi.
Thank you. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. Since this topic is very much related to my colleague's specialty, he is anthropologist. He can even ask more questions because his own specialization is also on the indigenous people. I would ask the audience from this room if you have any question for this presentation or any.
Dr. Mushtaq, we have the Q&A session for the end. So I think we will continue to the next presentation. Later on, the whole things we will come and bring it to the Q&A session at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Now our second presenter, Dr. Benjamin.
Just
Doctor?
Benjamin.
Just
Mr.
Benjamin. Okay. So none of you have achieved your doctor yet?
I have my Juris Doctor, but that's for lawyering.
Okay. Let me share your slides here.
This one, rebuilding. Once again. This is yours, right? Yes. Okay.
Okay. Good morning. Am I audible? And can you see the slides now?
Yeah.
Morning, yes.
Okay. Good morning, esteemed colleagues, scholars, and of course the organizing team of IIARP. Okay. It's my honor to be here to present our study entitled Rebuilding Sustainable Livelihoods, the AITA in Zambales After Disaster-Induced Displacement. I am Mr. Benjamin C. Pastrana Jr., a faculty researcher at the Lyceum of the Philippines, Manila, Philippines. Together in the study is my colleague, my co-faculty researcher, Noah DJ Villanueva. Okay. So here, we're going to we study the impact of the eruption of Mount Pinatubo during the 1991 event in the Aita community of Zambales. Particularly, this is within the context of Barangay Magisgis in Botolan. Okay. Now, just to give you a brief background or a brief of the abstract, the Aita communities of Zambales have long shown resilience in the face of adversity. However, disaster-induced displacement, particularly that from the event of the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, has significantly disrupted their traditional ways of life. This study seek to understand how they are rebuilding their livelihoods after the decades later. Now, this research critically assess the AITA's current access to the livelihood resources and aims to identify both support systems that have helped and the barriers that continue to hinder their long-term well-being. We use a structural functionalist perspective to examine how social roles, institutions, and community functions have evolved or persisted over the past 30 decades, or 30 years rather. This is complemented with systems theory that helps us to understand the interdependence of these elements in sustaining livelihoods. And the findings of the study contributes to the broader communication or conversation of among indigenous populations. More importantly, they offered this offer practical insight for policymakers, governmental organizations, and the community leaders working to foster culturally grounded long-term resilience. Now, the Aita community of Central Luzon have long thrived in harmony with the land, weaving their lives in the intricate tapestry of their ancestral homeland. They are a hunter-gathering societies in the Philippines, and they have a deep connection with the natural world. However, the eruption of Mount Pinatubo in 1991 shattered this delicate equilibrium, leaving the Aitas grappling to uncertain future and stark reality of displacement. This displacement caused cause disproportionate problem into the Aita community. Of course, the idea or disaster-induced displacement paid sorry, disaster-induced displacement had affect everyone. However, it has a greater effect on the marginalized people, uh, uh, like the Aita in Zambales. Now, this disrupted their traditions, their resources and forcing them to adopt to unfamiliar environment and livelihood opportunities. So many researchers have already seek about the life of the Aita community, as well as some studies regarding disaster-induced displacement. But in the 30 years since the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, the Aita of Zambales have demonstrated remarkable resilience in in the face of displacement. However, a critical assessment of their current access to the livelihood resources is very essential to identify the areas of support and potential obstacle of their long-term well-being. Hence, sorry, okay, this our problem statement. So first, what are the challenges and opportunities did the Aita communities face in accessing natural, human, physical, social, and financial capital? Second, how have the Aita communities livelihood strategies changed over time? And lastly, how can sustainable livelihood development initiatives incorporate traditional practices of the Aita communities and facilitate long-term resilience and well-being? For our methodology, we use participatory case study as our research design because we wanted to our participants be more involved because this is their experience. We wanted to show how they have lived before the eruption, and of course how they are living today. And our participants are those who experience this natural calamity or this eruption of Mount Pinatubo. And we do focus group discussion and key informants. And in indigenous study, we also have this kind of method, which is pakikipagkwentuhan in our vernacular, or storytelling in English, wherein they are the one who really told their stories, their experiences. And of course, we use purposive sampling technique in choosing our participants. Our criteria is first, of course, they live during the time that the eruption of Mount Pinatubo happened. And of course, they are Aita Sambal of Magisgis Zambales. Now, here's the key findings of our research and the analysis of it. Okay. The study results from the thematic analysis of the various narratives gathered from the Aita Sambal respondent in Magiskis and classified them into main categories: opportunities and challenges. Okay, that are these both categories are consistent in the narratives of our respondents, or our participants rather. These are from before the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, during the eruption, and the aftermath of the eruption. And also, we analyze later on, we will see the results on what are the changes in terms of their livelihoods and how the traditional techniques that they have been doing for a long time have already transformed into the modern time, or how it intersects in the modern time. So here, before the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, these are the opportunities that they have experienced, that they have told us. There are some employment in the Botolan town proper, wherein they are doing labor jobs. And of course, during the before the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, they are planting various of crops such as rice, camotes, root crops, and also bananas, and there are some mangoes. And also there is an abundance of river system because it serves as their natural boundary. and they are practicing hunting and gathering as they are hunter-gatherer societies. They are hunting boars, uh, reptiles, fishes, and birds. However, even though there are some opportunities, they also face challenges. There is a lack of transportation of goods because they are from the upland. Okay, and the roads there, of course, are not furnished or polished. They don't have a brick road. They just only have a rough road going to the mountain. And also, even though there are employment in the town proper, still there are lack of employment. Okay, because they are just only doing labor jobs, and they are have hand sickle farming, wherein they are their farming techniques or agricultural techniques is based on woods sticks and not, of course, uh the modern uh the modern agricultural practices. Now, during the this is the map when we do participatory mapping their um in their place. This they have visualized the barangay Magisgis, okay, before the eruption of Mount Pinatubo. Because we don't have when we go to the government offices, we don't have they did not give us copies of the old pictures of the barangay. Okay, so we do community mapping. Now, during the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, these are the opportunities and challenges. Well, even though they are displaced from their natural land, still they got their livelihood based on paid labors, as they are the government will pay them to collect the ashes from Mount Pinatubo, from the roads, okay, to clear the roads. And of course, there are supports from civil society organization and the government. However, of course, they are displaced from their land. They don't have enough money or capital to have their crops. There are no tillable lands, as the tillable lands are covered of volcanic ashes.
You have 2 minutes to come.
Okay, and there are lack of government agencies. So these are the pictures, the aftermath of the eruption. Okay, now after the eruption, where this is the present time, well, these are the opportunities and challenges that they have seen or they have narrated. There are employability in other economic sectors. They are not just only agriculture, but there are some professionals in the community. Still, they're continuing their hunting and gathering practices, but it's now limited to hunting boars and reptiles and not fishing anymore because the river system is covered or was covered by the ash. Okay, and there are better form of transportation. Before they just only have one they call it a weapon, or it's a big jeep or a tractor of military going from the town going to uh their area. But right now we have motorcycles, tricycles, and 4x4s. But still there are some displaced uh members of the community, and there are decrease in the agricultural lands. And in terms of transporting the goods, they do not get the whole amount of what they till or what they harvest, because there are caught in the middleman merchants, and the trade opportunities are very lacking. And these are the scenario, okay, aftermath of the eruption. Now, what are the changes in their livelihood? Of course, there are sorry, there are the use of modern technology in agriculture. They are not just only digging or tilling their lands by uh, woods, their hands, or their bolos, but they have already by the government as well as NGOs offered them uh, some modern agricultural technologies. They have pala, they have modern tractors, okay, and there is increase of paid labor, okay, and establish small enterprises in their area and not just only dealing with agriculture, okay. And still, they incorporated upland farming, hunting, gathering practices, and improvement in transportation, and still their paid labor. So, okay. In conclusion, the way of life as well as the livelihood strategies of the Aita of Zambales are different from the pre and post Mount Pinatubo eruption. It was observed that some of the livelihood strategies are now either inclined with agriculture, tourism, or small enterprises. And some of their old traditional livelihood have been gone or not practiced. The Aita of Zambales still see that their livelihood are still insufficient for long term, but it can sustain them in the daily lives. But they're hopeful that more proper funding, they can start or facilitate livelihood programs incorporated by traditional knowledge and their strong ties with the land. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Such an interesting presentation. As our colleague has requested, all the question will be end of the session. So, yeah, now I will be requesting our third presentation. Lolita.
Yeah.
Doctor. Miss
Not a graduate.
Please. You can do here, no problem.
I will do it.
Yes, is it? Which one is your presentation?
Oh, I already sent it in the email.
Yeah, but I copy this one. Which one is yours? Not this one.
It's in the spam.
In the email.
Let me check. Hold on 1 second.
In the spam.
Then receive. Didn't receive. Can you send again? Or meanwhile, I do another presentation. Can you send again?
Yeah, I can send it.
Can you give me?
The email.
Oh, you do the wrong.
Oh.
Share on Zoom. You can do it.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lolita Ocampo. I'm a professor from the Lyceum of the Philippines, Manila. I have been an educator for 18 years now, and I am honored to present to you my study on the misleading scheme behind environmental claim, a systematic review on the awareness of Quezon City consumers on greenwashing and its implications for Nestle and Coca-Cola. This research paper examines consumer awareness of greenwashing in Quezon City, one of the major cities in Manila, Philippines, and its implications for businesses, specifically Nestle and Coca-Cola. This study synthesizes the existing literature to provide a comprehensive understanding of greenwashing. And the key aspect of this research is the categorization of consumers based on their age to determine whether who has more awareness, the higher age or the lower age. The findings aims to provide valuable insights, promoting genuine environmental responsibility, combating misleading sustainability claims in the marketplace. In the current era, there is a rising global awareness on the climate change, particularly the greenwashing, and it has affected the behavior of the consumers. And consumers are there is a growing demand for sustainable products across all generations, according to the study of Wharton University in 2022. The consumers now consider business social responsibility in their purchase
Interruption, your
decisions.
slides are not moving down.
I think we don't have to present it. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there is a growing demand of sustainable products across all generations, according to the study of the Wharton University in 2022. And because of this, consumers consider business social responsibility in the purchasing decisions. And because of this, the companies now consider marketing as the tool to enable them to have the differentiation and inform choices. And however, because of the demand of this, companies now make exaggerated claims on their environmental sustainability. This is what we call greenwashing, the misleading environmental claims by companies. And in this study, I focuses on Quezon City, a leader in urban sustainability in the Philippines. And my study focuses on awareness of greenwashing by Nestle and Coca-Cola. And the goal of this study is to measure awareness and its impact on consumer buying behavior. And the aim is to access effectiveness of campaigns and push for real sustainability. The problem statement in this study sought to determine whether consumers residing in Quezon City have knowledge on the dissemination of false or deceptive information regarding Nestle and Coca-Cola's environmental strategies, goals, and action. Specifically, it aims to know whether there is an awareness in the Quezon City residents and whether what is their perception about greenwashing, and we will also look at the demographic group ages, different ages, whether whose age generation has more awareness or less awareness of greenwashing. The methods I use is mixed method approach, integrating quantitative and qualitative research methods. The primary tools for data collection is structured survey questionnaire. The quantitative aspect of the research involves collecting numerical data through closed-ended survey questions, allowing for statistical analysis. The qualitative component includes thematic analysis of open-ended responses to gain deeper insights into consumer perception. And the key findings are the following. Number one, the consumer awareness and perception. Younger age group from 18 to 34 and those with higher education, college or above, show higher awareness and skepticism. Many are aware of greenwashing practices but lack full confidence in identifying them consistently. With regards to trust and skepticism, greenwashing practices have reduced trust in environmental claims, especially among younger and more educated ones. Despite the skepticism, many consumers continue to buy from brands they suspect of greenwashing. And when it comes to the impact on purchasing behavior, awareness of greenwashing affects purchasing decisions, especially among younger consumers from 18 to 34 years old, and the students and highly educated respondents. However, brand loyalty often outweighs greenwashing concerns, especially for major brands like Nestle and Coca-Cola. We also have here findings, specific findings for Nestle. Nestle's marketing campaign are the most influential source shaping public perception. 70% of those aware of Nestle's sustainability challenges are still willing to support the brand. For the specific finding in Coca-Cola, 90% agrees Coca-Cola environmental efforts may be perceived as greenwashing. But despite of this, 85% would continue supporting Coca-Cola, showing strong brand loyalty. Let us also look at the demographic patterns. Higher education correlates with increased awareness and skepticism. Full-time employee and students show greater awareness, and unemployed individuals show lower awareness. Younger age groups from 18 to 36 are more critical and environmentally conscious. And males show slightly higher awareness, while females demonstrate moderate trusts. We have here the discussion and interpretation. Let me give you a little background of my participants. I collected 20 participants, invited 20 participants through email and social media, and I send them the web link for them to answer. And this is their profile. The age range are mostly 34 to 44 years old, representing represented in the study, specifically those in the 45 to 35 years old, indicating that middle-aged adults form the largest portion, while younger and older adults are least represented, predominantly female, as shown in the gender graph. And when it comes to the educational level, those most respondents have at least a college degree, with a notable segment holding and pursuing advanced studies, suggesting a highly educated sample. Majority of the 14 respondents, or 70%, are employed full-time.
Sorry for interruption. You have 2 more minutes. Please be conclusive. Thank you.
Okay. This graph shows the importance of environmental responsibility in purchasing decision. It represents that most of the respondents are consider Nestle as important in their purchasing decisions, their knowledge of the greenwashing of Nestle. The same thing with Coca-Cola as presented here by this graph. And this graph shows the continued support of the brand in spite of knowing that they are practicing greenwashing. They still said that they would still continue to support the brand. For my conclusion, the comparative analysis reveals significant differences in awareness, trust, and purchasing decisions across various demographic groups. Consumer awareness and skepticism, the data highlights a moderate level of awareness among Quezon City consumers regarding greenwashing, with a significant portion able to identify deceptive environmental claims. When it comes to the attitudes toward environmental responsibility, a majority of respondents view environmental responsibility as an important factor influencing their purchasing decision, particularly for brands as prominent as Nestle and Coca-Cola. The implication for the business to address the unique challenge in balancing brand loyalty with growing concern, consumer demand for genuine sustainability, companies must ensure that their environmental initiatives are transparent and backed by substantial verifiable actions to avoid being perceived as greenwashing. For Nestle and Coca-Cola, reinforcing transparency in environmental messaging could mitigate consumer skepticism and foster stronger, more informed brand loyalty. That's all for my presentation, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Dr. Shakir,
Yes.
I would request another presentation from the Zoom to make the session more better. I guess we give opportunity from the people online as well. 3 presentation from our end. So now give the 2 presentation from the online session.
Okay, that's a very good idea. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, because they've been also waiting. I understand we have to follow the schedule. So let the next session more interesting. So we need to twist a bit and listen the presentation from the virtual presenter as well.
Okay, thank you so much for this modification to the schedule. Let me check the schedule, okay? Okay, coming toward this one. We have one oral presenter. I think that's the offline. Am I right? 673. That's offline. 673. The oral poster presenter. That's the
She is here. She is attending. She will
okay.
present with the poster.
Okay, then we are coming toward the online presenter 096. The paper title is Level Up Awareness of the Indigenous People at the 12th Barriagas in Camp John Hay. I don't know this name. Dear Lane Wright, to be presented by Corazon B. Alhido. Are you available?
Good morning, sir. I
Yeah.
am.
She has
For
a similar presentation
mispronouncing your name, yeah.
so we should have to listen to her as well.
May I share first my PowerPoint?
Sure, please. She is from the Philippines, yes. To the virtual attending, once again, hi and very good mornings from the physical room as well. All the audience from the physical room, they are sending greetings and well wishes regards to the virtual presenters as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, good morning, everyone. May I introduce myself? Okay.
Can you
I'm
please first open your PPT?
come again, sir.
We don't see your presentation. Can you open it, please?
Open and
Wait.
share, please.
I'm sharing it. Wait. Can you see it?
Yes, now
Yes,
it's
we can see.
So you can see my PowerPoint presentation.
yes,
That's
please.
correct. You can make it full screen and then you can proceed with it.
Okay. Is it okay?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. May I introduce myself? I'm Corazon Alhido Sakpa from Baguio City, and I'm one faculty of the University of the Cordilleras under College of Criminal Justice Education. So may I present our research? The title is "The Level of Awareness of the Indigenous People at the 12 barangays around Camp Janhay, Baguio City on their land rights." Okay. So may I present first my short abstract? So our abstract, this paper is, or we want, or the study explore the level of awareness, okay, among indigenous people in the 12 barangays surrounding Camp Janhay in Baguio City, Philippines. Okay. Regarding their land rights within the border context of the urban development and ancestral disposition, as Baguio continues to urbanize rapidly, indigenous communities, particularly the Ibaloys, okay, face displacement and marginalization, which is exacerbated by the legacy of colonial land doctrines like the Terra Nullius, despite the enactment of the Indigenous People Rights, or EPRA, in 1997. Okay? So systematic barriers such as bureaucratic inefficiencies, lack of policy enforcement, and exclusion from the decision making maybe is the problem here. Okay? So the method that we use is the design or mixed
Your
method, design
slides are not
combining.
moving down. Can you please just move it down to the next slide? Yes, please.
Okay. So the introduction, may I move on the introduction of our subject? Okay. So urbanization in the Philippines is increasing and becoming more complex, especially in Baguio City, okay, which is known for a beautiful scenery of cold climate, has seen an increase in the development as the outcome of the migration and of the tourism. Okay. Aside from EPRA law, we have also the problem of the land disputes in these barangays, often stem from the government's approach to the urban development, which may overlook the historical claims of the indigenous people. Then aside from that, aside from the urbanization, we have also the legal frameworks that is intended to protect indigenous rights, as the Indigenous People Rights, or the IPRA of 1997. And so our statement of problem is, we will look at the level of awareness to the indigenous people affected by the land displacement on their land rights. What recommendations can be implemented to address the land rights displacement and the protect rights of the indigenous people. Okay. So here is the problem, to answer the statement problem. So urban expansion displaces IP communities from ancestral domains. We feared losing our lands once development began, the barangay respondent, and of course, the critical need to safeguard ancestral domains within the city planning. Okay. So the methodology is we use the mixed method design to look at the concurrent, the explanatory sequential, and exploratory sequential. We use tools on the household survey and in-depth interview for the 37 respondents. Okay. And for the key findings, we look at the awareness. So the land ownership rights, which is the scoring, or if we look at the awareness survey result, so the result of the land ownership is 3.59, national laws and registration is 3.24, and the role of officials for 3.05. Okay. And then, of course, we also find, aside from the awareness, is we look at the challenges. So the limited IPR, or the Indigenous Peoples Mandatory Representative presence in the local councils. We have also the policy implementation or gaps at the barangay level. And we look at also the prevailing lack of cultural sensitivity in urban governance. Okay. So aside from that, we also look at the community engagement. Okay. They conduct public consultations in the local languages, and um, also we look at the appointment of IPMRS in every barangay. So there should be an appointment for the indigenous peoples mandatory representative in every barangay. They have to align also with the Section 16 of RA 8371 for the inclusive governance, and the representation brings our concerns to the forefront of Luknab residents. Okay. So consistent implementation of IPRA law. So they have to review the Chapter 13, Section 78 of IPRA for the urban context. They harmonize NCIP ancestral land titles with the city zoning plans, and then the reference on UNDRIP Article 25 and 26 on land stewardship. Okay. So the conclusion, okay, under our topic is, okay, the indigenous people rights, or the IPRA, was enacted to protect the rights and interests of the indigenous people in the Philippines. However, respondents have pointed out issues in its implementation, particularly on the policy amendments and the revision of the IPRA law under Chapter 13, Section 78. Okay. And to address this concern, we identified the key recommendation have been identified that they should review the policy and then the amendment of the enactment. Okay. So this is our conclusion. And the acknowledgement is normally the NCIP. So they have to monitor. Okay. So that this is the end of my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Yeah, so thank you. And I think we will share one more. Am I right? From our side.
Yeah, sure. You can go one more presentation from your side.
Okay,
And then
thank
we
you
have
so
left with the three presentation here.
So we have the next one, 107. Let me check on the screen whether we have 107. I think we don't have. This is a recorded, pre-recorded presentation. 107, 652. 652 is also not available. And 660 is also not available.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm here.
0 is available. 660. Please come and share your screen with
Sure.
your PPT and Go ahead, please. Yes.
Hi, good morning. Please tell me if it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, good morning. And first of all, thank you for accepting my submission for your conference. My name is Iulia Andreea Rusu, and I'm a PhD student at the Bucharest University of Economic Studies, and I'm from Romania. Today, I will introduce you to my work paper, my research, and the title of the article is The Role of Leadership in Promoting Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Work Organizations. First of all, a short description of myself. I hold a bachelor degree in finance, insurance, banking, and stock exchange, and as well as a master's degree in applied finance, both of them obtained from the Bucharest University of Economic Studies. And now I'm pursuing my PhD at the Doctoral School of Finance within the same university. My research focuses on measuring the effectiveness of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in training and retraining employees within multinational companies from Romania. And also, the title of my PhD thesis will be the measuring of effectiveness of inclusion programs in retaining employees at the company level. And my academic interests include inclusive leadership, organizational development, and evidence-based human resource practices. My paper examines the role of leadership in advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion in organizations and reviews leadership styles that support DAE, such as transformational leadership, servant leadership, and social identity-based. Identifies key barriers such as unconscious bias and lack of leadership accountability. Also shows that inclusive leadership boasts innovation, financial performance, and employee engagement. Also, the paper recommends integrating DAE into business strategy with measurable leadership commitment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DAE, is essential for organizational sustainability, innovation, and long-term success. Leadership plays a key role in turning DAE values into practical, inclusive workplace strategies. Also, this study explores how leadership influences DAE implementation and cultural transformation. As objectives and purposes of the paper, my study explores how specific leadership models guide the development of inclusive organizational cultures. Also uncovers structural and behavioral barriers that limit the impact of DAE efforts. Offers strategic research-based recommendations for sustainable DAE integration at all leadership levels. For what regards the problem statement and motivation, many DAE efforts remain ineffective due to lack of structural integration and authentic leadership engagement. Also, symbolic or compliance-driven approaches fail to address deep-rooted bias and systemic inequities. There is a pressing need for leadership that drives measurable organization-wide DAE transformation. Regarding the theoretical framework, there were identified three of them. First of all, transformational leadership theory that inspires shared vision and promotes equitable treatment and mentorship for diverse teams. The second one, servant leadership theory that prioritizes employee well-being and also the safety and inclusive decision making. And the third one, social identity theory that explains how group identification and implicit bias shape behaviors and perceptions in organizations. These frameworks explain how leadership can rephrase organizational culture and reduce systemic bias. Combined altogether, they guide the design of inclusive leadership practices tailored to their goals. For what regards the methodology, this study applies a systemic literature review to evaluate existing research on DAE and leadership. It analyzes scholarly publications in management, organizational psychology, and diversity studies. and also conducts a comparative analysis of leadership models and case-based evidence from multinational companies. The key findings and the results: inclusive leadership enhance innovation, financial outcomes, and employee retention. Their effectiveness depends on active leadership at all organization levels, not just executive endorsement. And sustainable day impact requires structured accountability, not one-off symbolic efforts. And my study confirms that leadership is central to embedding day into organizational systems. The research stressed the importance of multi-level leadership, executive to frontline, to sustaining day outcomes, leadership at all levels from senior executives influencing organizational strategy, and also from middle managers setting policies into effect, and supervisors shaping employees' everyday experiences. The study recommends intersectional and sector-specific approaches for future day research and practice. Regarding the conclusions of the research, Day Success release on international and sustained leadership commitment. Inclusive leadership drives both organizational performance and equity outcomes. Treating Day as a core strategic priority is essential for long-term cultural transformation. And also, I need to specify that this research was co-financed by Bucharest University of Economic Studies during the doctoral program. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Before we proceed with the next presentation, I would recommend let me engage all the presenters, specifically these 5 presentation has been done, because I would have a few questions before we proceed for the next presentation. Though we have requested the question and answer end of the session, but I think we must have a 5 to 10 minutes engagement to discuss few questions specifically for those 5 presentation. I would start my first question specifically in the last presentation just had done. My question is that, like, there's a 2 questions specifically. I would even go to the audience as well if they have further question for you. So the role of the leadership, and this specifically presentation, you are very much stick with the SLR, only the systematic literature review. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Could you revise, because this is my suggestion, because your title is stating something else. Since your subject paper or your presentation is more specific to only SLR. So it would be much better you revise your title and key specifically mention this is systematic literature review paper. Secondly, your SLR, even you did went through the SLR process, which is quite standard and basic, like the objectives specifically, you couldn't manage well which leadership style you are specifically talking about. Like you did mention 2 of your theories related to the leadership transformation and the servant leadership. However, what leadership style you or your the SLR is recommended specifically when it's come to the diversity and equity in the economics? I didn't see any part of that in the results. So you have to come to the thematic analysis from the SLR. So you can know that, like, there are plenties of the leadership style, especially when we're talking about an economics and management. You might aware of it. There are plenties of the leadership style. So here, according to your need of the study, you should be more specific the leadership style, because that leadership style is specifically in diversity and economic equity form will give you the proper research question answer. My first recommendation was about the revise your title and specifically mention about the SLR. Secondly, it would be much more better if you do the bibliometric analysis for your SLR, because it's if you wanted to publish your research paper in a good journal, so nowadays only the SLR method is not enough. We must have to come with the bibliometric analysis. It's a procedure, it's a programs where you come with the more, because there's a huge database now in the literature, huge, especially on your topic. You will find maybe more than 5 to 10,000 paper. So further, how to analyze? I'm recommending bibliometric analysis.
Yes. Thank you so much, Professor, for the observations.
Thank you. Thank you. And now I have another one to two question, quick question and recommendation as well. Actually, if anyone has a question for this presentation, please. Anyone else has a question, any recommendation? Okay. I will just thank you. Thank you for I'm done with that. So I have just a few quick recommendation for our
She has raised her hand 096. I think she has a question.
yes, please 096. If you have a question, please.
Oh, sir, I'm just affirming it. I'm just
Okay,
saying
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so now I quickly wanted to go. There is another few questions I have noted down for the presentation 093, Lolita. A similar question comes to your presentation and specifically title as well. Your title is kind of, I won't say it's a misleading, but it's not the exact title what you have presented. Like if I look at your title, you mentioned that you are doing the systematic review, but you went to the quantitative analysis and your results. So it's not a systematic review. You collect the data, and then you done this quantitative analysis, which we have seen the results from your quantitative analysis. So technically, it's not a systematic review. Systematic review, basically, we are more strict with the secondary data. So whenever you include the primary data and your research, so technically it's, I mean, the primary data paper could be literature as well, because it's not complete without literature. But however, the title is kind of a misleading, so you have to revise the title. And my second opinion, second thing, the title is too long. It would be much better you make it shorter, more specific. That would be more better. Okay. Those are the two questions I noted, because of there is other things as well, but and these are the first and foremost two things. Okay. And the third one, that is two another things I have seen in the presentation, which I personally feel, being as the researchers, the specifically the presentation number 1 and 2, even the presentation number 96, you have come up with the problem statement. And that problem statement, you are including the research questions. So usually in the research studies, your problem statement is not what you are questioning. It should be based on the recommendation from the other researchers. So what I see, that's also technically, I don't know, but technically it's not appropriate. So research problem should be based on what other left there is a problem in the community or what you are. Okay, but it's not a question. So the question mark in the problem statement is not appropriate. So that can be correct. Especially for the 9.3, sorry, 9.2, Benjamin. How did you verify your interviews? Storytelling is how we are verifying. Like two of the presentation, we've been concentrating on the storytelling, how the verification of those storytellings.
there is first the initial interview with them. Then after that, there is a validation that is processed with the NICP or the National Cultural Indigenous National Cultural of Indigenous People NCIP, National Commission on Indigenous People representative collaborating with it, and they are the with that validation, it refer it's it refocus on your statements or their narratives.
So you did verify what the story said.
Yes.
So how you make a theme from the stories?
So from the data sets, we highlight what are the recurring statements that they are saying in the narratives, and after that, those are the themes that that we present in the presentation.
One another thing was missing, or maybe I didn't notice, specifically your sample size. How many people you have been interviewed?
For the sample size, as this is percussive sampling, we do think there are 20 individuals, but we have some do 4 focus group discussion with that 20.
So in a total you quoting 20.
Yeah, 20.
Same goes to your study as well, though. Okay. Anyone else has a question, please engage. This is engagement session, even from the virtual. If you haven't noticed any question, so we welcome.
I have some questions and suggestions as well, but I'm listening to you and other participants first, and then I will participate.
I'm concluding with my last question, and this also goes to the Benjamin actually, and you, huh?
Sure.
And that actually about you're talking about specifically this volcano eruptions. It was 1991. 91. So how disaster it was?
It's very dreadful. Even the ashes of Mount
Now,
Pinatubo.
specifically like casualties and this whole indigenous people living area,
Yes.
which now in 2025 you are interviewing them. So most possibly their parents or the people might have died, passed away in that events. So how you, I mean, how you collect the data, how catastrophic the event was? Because you've been conducting the study even 91, so it's almost 35 years, 34 years.
Yeah. So
during all this, no other study conducted in that area?
there are studies, but in regard with the not with the livelihood, but their current situation, as well as the effect or the effect of the Mount Pinatubo to the whole central zone. Okay. But in terms of the livelihood strategies, there are few people, or there I think no no study yet for the Aita community.
That's what my question is. If let's suppose you're claiming, especially is this Aita community, which the very catastrophic disaster happened about 34 years ago, and no other studies been conducted, we can get comprehensive study conducted. Maybe there is a lot of news. You can combine 34 years old news stories. Okay. So if the no study has conducted, then you, if you wanted to compile your study, so you make it proper way of drafting, so you can tell the people how catastrophic the event was, how many people in that disasters accidents has been died. Okay. Okay, and how it's affect the whole community even after 34 years. Okay, what has done, what doesn't done, and what as a community or the government can engage with the people. My technical reason of the question was that. So I mean, if you are compiling a study after 34 years, so I understand maybe because you're not a PhD, right? No, master level?
Juris Doctor.
JD, Juris Doctor.
What is that?
For
For law.
law.
For the law. So you will help those people as a law, you will give them the justice. Provide okay, interesting. But anyways, you can draft the proper study if you like to publish, and also because whenever we are engaging in the international conference, one of the reason and one of the motive to be in the international conference is okay to not only networking but also we are sharing a knowledge. So when you come to the international conference and sharing the knowledge of one very catastrophic events happen 30, 34 years ago, and same goes to your colleague, she is discussing the indigenous people issues in the today very modern era. So we have to inform them as much as we can. And if this paper further you wanted to publish, like definitely my colleague will later mention, or he did mention about the publication process and the conference proceeding process. So you have the whole information. So that will give you more edge. Thank you. From my side, I'm done. If the Dr. Shakir, if you have a question, please, you can engage them.
If you other participant want to ask any questions or suggestion, I will let them ask and say first, then I will come if they have any.
I assume they don't have a question. Do you have, you write a lot of questions, I guess. You can ask. This is an engagement session without any shy, without any hesitation. You can ask.
First.
You want my colleague to ask? Shakir, you can ask your question first, please.
Okay. So I will start from 091. That's regarding something related to indigenous people, and I don't know because the PPT is usually quite short. I just want to know because all these questions which I'm asking are quite important for such papers, for such manuscript to be submitted to any peer-reviewed journals, and all these things are very much important. You need to keep it noted, and you can modify it after date. I want to ask you what ethical consideration you taken into account while studying these indigenous people, and what cultural sensitivities did you face while conducting this study or interacting with these indigenous people. This is number first. And the second one is did you notice any power distribution problems among these indigenous people? What is the power dynamics in this community? And how did you know through this research about the land encroachment and the power dynamics involved in land encroachment? Also, the indigenous people, community members involved in this whole process of land encroachment. All these things I think are quite important to be I think included into your study. So these are some of my points.
Hold on a sec. Okay, that's two questions. Would you like to answer from here, please?
Can I be here?
I don't know. Maybe the mic is not where it would. It's okay. You just come and can answer from here. As first question was about the ethical consideration.
Yeah, we actually we were granted approval consent from the community to conduct data collection methods in their ancestral domain. So we have asked for a proper documentation from
It's a written document?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
It's a written
it was a
document.
written document.
FPIC or the prior.
We have visited the,
Because that's a ethical consideration,
Yeah.
either you collect with the written documents or the
yeah,
verbal. So
there
you have
was,
written document.
there was.
Okay, that's very much clear. You can go for a second question answer.
And for the second question, may I
Shakir, quickly ask the second
The
question
second
again. Just
question is the power dynamics in the community regarding the land encroachment. Like you know that in land encroachment, the powerful people are involved in such process, as well as the local indigenous people, some member of the community support these powerful people in this whole process.
you get the
yeah,
question.
based on what I understand, the land mapping that we did was indeed a powerful tool to know the boundaries and then see for our selves which lands were being sold.
No, like the question he is asking a different way. Okay, especially like the people living, the indigenous people, if there are any certain powerful people who took the land illegally and encroached.
Who took,
So,
yeah.
You mean there's any other powerful people involved? Political or
Yeah,
any other people?
there was one an employee of a certain government employee.
So the government employees, definitely you cannot name them
yeah.
on the paper, but you mean
He is trying to tell the indigenous people that he is a representative of one government employee in there, and so that's the reason
legally
why.
taking their lands.
So that's the reason why they were able to he was able to buy the lands, and since the indigenous people at that time, especially during pandemic, they were enticed to sell their lands at a very minimal amount. Very if we are going to get the proper price, you can imagine 20,000. They were sold at 20,000 pesos, but actually it's more than 1 million price.
Oh, so the cost of the land was
Yeah.
millions, and they were sold to these powerful.
Yeah,
Okay.
for only 20,000.
I have a related question. Why? Because you said your university, the university you mentioned,
Lyceum. We were able to get back. We were able to. We
I
asked.
mean, why your university show interest to take the land and take the land and give it back to the people?
Because we have they have a certain rights, special rights for indigenous people that they the
Our university is advocating for indigenous people's rights. That's why we have programs, extension programs that really helping. We have 14 communities that we are helping, trying to give them awareness, their
right
uplifting their livelihood strategies, as well as their
community
protecting
development.
their rights and their community, their ancestral lands. And also our director also, for one of the top management is also indigenous people. That's why the whole university adopted the this kind of advocacy.
That's a very wonderful, actually. That was. So any other question, Dr. Shakir? She answered
Yeah,
very
so
well.
that's
And,
very good. Thank you so much. And why I mentioned this, because your study is a qualitative study, and what you mentioned, the things are quite important to develop it is an argument and incorporate it into your manuscript that will make it very attractive for the editors and peer reviewers, you know. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so Wait, let me see what other things I noted. Uh, Yeah, the 092, that's also something related to indigenous people, your topic. And you mentioned something very interesting that this community is a hunting and gathering society, community practicing hunting and gathering. And you was also, as Dr. Mushtaq mentioned about this disaster, this eruption happened
Yes, sir.
or 35 years ago, quite long. And you said that these people passed through different transformation process, and I'm quite curious that what social changes happened in their lives, especially you mentioned about the resilience in this community, how much resilient they are, and what I thought about is the social network or the social support system usually exist in such indigenous communities. So, did you know from this community or the informants regarding their social support system and how it exists until now, and whether this community still practice hunting and gathering, or it was a practice of the past, not now?
Okay. Thank you for that questions. So first, they are a hunter-gathering communities as based on the structure of indigenous people in the Philippines. Yes, they are still practicing hunting and gathering because they are hunting wild boars, uh, some reptiles, large lizards, snakes, okay, that can be found in their mountains, in their areas. Also, they are trying before they hunting fishes, but right now because the river system is covered by ashes, it was declined. Okay, there are still some who go for fishing in some lakes. There are some still lakes, sorry, rivers rather, that are still existing, but it's just only it becomes short streams, but only a few fishes that can be found. Uh, they are gathering also some wild root crops, as well as they do pangungusok, or collecting the stalk of banana, the wild bananas. Okay. Now, in terms of the support network of the community, we encountered support from the government of the town proper of the Zambales. And also, our university also give some support in terms of uh, protecting their rights, as well as giving them ano, level of education engagement. As we are trying, not we are training the teachers of that goes into the barangay, into the mountains. We are trying to intersect the modern education with the indigenous people knowledge system. Okay. And also, there are other NGOs or non-governmental organizations that supporting them up until now. And there are some monitoring mechanisms that we are doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Any
much.
other question, Shakir, or we go ahead because of the
Yeah. So we
time?
go ahead with the other presentations. Thank you so much.
Okay, and now I will be requesting our another presentation, if I'm not mistaken, is 094, Claudians.
Okay.
It's visible, right? Okay. Please.
Am I audible, everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. I am Miss Glidina Escolas, and I am a faculty researcher from Lyceum of the Philippines University from Manila, Philippines. And today I will be presenting to you my research paper entitled Green Consumer Behavior of Selected Students of Lyceum of the Philippines University, Manila, a Phenomenological Study, wherein it basically aims to look at the green consumerism that revolves around the conscious act of consumers on purchasing and consuming green products. And this study basically aims to understand the conscious act of green consumers by employing the aforementioned approach, examining their lived experience as green consumers.
Can you
And
please slow
inquiry.
down? We just see the first slide.
Don't put it in slide.
Right. I think this is better.
Yeah, it's good now.
Give me a moment, please. Not working. Nag-drag siya kasi ibaba. All right, thank you for your patience. So inquiring into the plausibility of interconnection between awareness, motivation, and behavior of selected informants as green consumers, this study shall take into account the subjective answers on qualitative questions such as what motivates you to purchase green products, how was your experience of purchasing green products? So generally, this study shall contribute to the holistic understanding of green consumerism, focus on the subjective individual decision and action, motivated by one's sense of responsibility, directed towards the attainment of greater good for the environment and humanity. So for our outline, we will be discussing, of course, the statement of the problem, methodology, key findings, results, discussions, and interpretations, and of course, the conclusion. And just for a quick background on the study itself, it basically employs or emphasizes the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as it is a 12th goal that primarily aims to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns to foster economic and social development among nations. And this enhances or highlights urgent call for actions for such long-term resolutions that is authoritatively initiated by the United Nations. So this 17 SDG acknowledges the consequential global issues of poverty, hunger, health, education, gender equality, sanitation, energy, environment, climate change, and social justice. And how is it exactly relevant to green consumerism? Of course, it has something to do with the environment that basically has a detrimental repercussions on climate change, which is basically obvious nowadays. And for the SOP, the aim of this paper is to understand the conscious act of selected LPU Manila students on green consumption through an examination of their lived experience as green consumers. So for the methodology, qualitative methodology was applied in the collection of data and analysis in determining the green consumer behavior of these students. So we have already mentioned the phenomenological approach, and I have employed structured written interviews in which the questions focus primarily on the lived experience of the informants. And this is the demographic profile of the informants. So basically, these are the selected students enrolled during the first semester of 2024-2025. And purposive sampling was employed to conduct deliberate experience of these participants. So a total of 8 students agreed to participate and gave their written consent to provide their student information and contact details. And of course, it was emphasized that confidentiality of their basic information would be solely for the basis of this research project, and they were briefed about the objectives of the research itself. And for the key findings and results, analysis of the interview data revealed several key themes that emerged from informants' narratives, reflecting their personal and unique experience as a green consumer. 3 broad themes are identified, and codes from each themes are discussed in the subsequent subsections. So we have here personal aspect, social aspect, and environmental aspect. So for the discussion and interpretation, we can already see from the graphic organizer that is presented on the slide that there are these 3 key themes that had emerged in the project itself: personal, social, and environmental. Wherein when we talk about personal, it has it reflects basically the informant's experience as a green consumer based on their perspective as a consumer, him or herself, understanding, and of course, his or her motivation for being one. And for the social aspect, it has something to do with the environment that basically influences his or her behavior, motivation, perception, being a green consumer. So in here, for the environmental aspect, of course, it has something to do with their awareness on the impact of their conscious act on going green. And if we are going to delve into these 3 key themes, so there are codes that emerge from their responses. So the project itself categorized the personal aspect for the codes: cognitive, affective, and procedural. So under cognitive, of course, it has something to do with their knowledge about what green consumerism is and their awareness of its impact, and of course, their own self-evaluation, like how exactly they feel like being a green consumer. For the affective state of this aspect, there are these codes: satisfaction, motivation, and their intention of or being conscious in acting on green consumerism. And for procedural, it has something to do with how they decide on what exactly product that they are going to purchase and consume. So it has something to do with their decision-making process, their preferences, how frequent they are going to purchase and consume these green products, and of course, the challenges and solutions that they have encountered as they purchase and consume green products. And for the social aspect, I have categorized the project categorized as it as direct and indirect. Wherein for the direct, basically that's the immediate environment that the student has basically. So it has something to do with the familiar relation and the communal norms that they have experienced. And of course, the social media, that is basically one of the primary means of them acquiring knowledge about green consumerism. And of course, how they are directly influenced by other people who are not actually immediate to them. And for the indirect category, for the social aspect, it has something to do with their sense of responsibility, how exactly they are motivated or compelled to act green. And of course, in the project itself, it is demonstrated that it has something to do with their sense of care towards the environment. And that is where we are going to be led to the environmental aspect, wherein the project categorizes it into 2: awareness on the impact and awareness on the conservation of them acting green. And for the conclusion, this research, through its phenomenological approach, has provided a rich and nuanced understanding of green consumerism. By examining the lived experience, the study has revealed that once green consumer behavior is grounded by the complex interplay of personal values, social influences, and environmental concerns. And this subjective individual decision and action that are basically grounded on reason and effect. So this highlights that they themselves know exactly what they are doing, and they have the intention to do so and keep doing so. For what reason? Because they have this strong sense of responsibility toward the environment, And that shows their ethics of care. And in that regard, reason has the fundamental basis of decisions and actions. And it is in this regard that the conscious decision of these students in committing to green consumption grounded on reason or logical sense, and moreover, their subjective individual decisions and actions shaped their affective state, that is, a strong sense of care towards the environment. And that is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I would request to our another presenter, Surat, please.
Which paper ID? Sorry.
665.
665. 66. What about 658?
Dr. Lincoln is absent.
Oh, it's absent. Okay. 665.
Okay, in Zoom, do you see my presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning, everyone. Today I will presentation about a study on compensation management challenges in Thailand public sector to attract and retain high performance personnel. First of all, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Sudela Samli. I'm a third-year student at Sinakamilo University, Bangkok, Thailand, and public administration is my major at the Department of Political Science. For abstract, this study into explore challenges in compensation management in Thailand public sector by using compensation principle and minimum expectancy theory, and to suggest approach for attracting and retaining high performance personnel. Introduction. Let's begin with side vision of the problem. Currently, the Thai public sector continue to face public criticism in lack of public efficiency in public service, and this reflects that the Thai public sector has lower ability to attract and retain high performance personnel, particularly in among new generation. Nowadays, talented individuals that have high performance tend to view government work as a large alternative because in the public sector provide uncompetitive compensation when compared to the private sector. And in the current workforce, nowadays the current workforce needs a compensation that provide financial stability and long-term prosperity. And that's why it's important we must have appropriate approach for compensation management to attract and retain the personnel who have ability to respond public interest. Next to theoretical framework, I will use two theory for analysis. And the first is the principle of compensation management. This principle will provide a foundation for developing compensation management effective for organization. And this principle has 6 components. It includes adequacy. When we intervening compensation for personnel, the organization must aware adequacy of compensation to provide support standard of living and to support their family for personnel. And there is equity. The organization must aware equity that's in compensation system that reflect job responsibility and personnel competency, experience, and qualification. And the next is balance. The organization must aware the balance between compensation and job responsibility and the balance between compensation and the cost of living. And the next is security. the organization, if job responsibility is involved to list and to health and safety, the organization must provide higher compensation and additional benefit to support personnel to inform in their duty. And the next is incentive. The organization must provide compensation that make personnel to have motivation to perform in their work. And the last is control. The organization must aware how compensation will be able to relate with the ability to pay of organization. And the second theory is room expectancy theory. This theory will expand how individuals decide to engage in their work behavior based on job responsibility, based on expectation of outcomes. If an organization provides reward with relate with the personnel expectation, it will help them to have motivation to perform in their duty and can effective to attract and retain high performance personnel. However, I use this theory to help me find compensation management approach. The next chapter, I will expand the state of compensation management in the Thai public sector. Currently, the Thai public sector has been revised from the public servant language system at a classification to become a board banding system under the Civil Service Act 2008. Because the Thai public the public sector servant language compensation system is didn't reflect the value of work and had to many job many job level and it has a similar responsibility. And that's why it's important we must developing to support the high performance civil service. However, Thailand has been revised the compensation management system, and its position Thai has its own salary scale from entry level to senior level, and in compensation management structure system had a four components. It includes base salary, prerequisite, welfare and benefit, performance, and the last is performance bonus. However, although the Thai public sector has improved compensation management system, but in the current it still faces challenges in attracting and retaining high performance personnel. This is because in the current job market in Thailand is had a highly competitive. There are help organizations that provide career option that relate with the expectation for the new generation personnel. At the same time, the Thailand has improved compensation to comparable with the private sector for the salary, but increased salary is not enough to support the Thai public sector can effectively to attract and retain high performance personnel. And this is why we must analyze challenges compensation management in the Thai public sector by using the compensation management principle along with room expectancy theory to finding a better new approach. The next chapter, I will expand analysis of the Thai public sector compensation management, the compensation principle, and expectancy theory. Currently, in the Thai public sector is quite as inefficiency in compensation management in terms of principle of adequacy, balance, and control. The compensation that provided to the Thai public sector personnel is still insufficient for a standard of living and to support their family. Because in Thailand, nowadays in Thailand's ongoing health economic problem and like as a high cost living and have a salary limit low. And as a result, compensation is not well balanced with personal financial responsibility too. And moreover, the government budget is limited and heavily allocated to personal expenditure, especially retirement pension. And from this issue, it makes it difficult to increase competitive compensation to compare with the private sector. Furthermore, the principle of equity, even though the Thai public sector follow the principle of equal pay for equal work, but the current system in the organization is provide a compensation based on job responsibility, and if personnel has similar responsibility, although they have different performance, this results in unfair compensation for high performance personnel too. And next, in terms of the principle of security, the Thai public sector still offers greater job stability when compared to the private sector, even though our salaries are lower. But public sector can provide welfare and benefit that support long-term stability. And the last is the principle of incentive. The Thai public sector current system still fail to attract high performance personnel. This is because public sector cannot provide compensation that competitive when compared with the private sector in the labor market. When we consider the expectancy
Can you
theory,
please
it shows that
conclude it? You have 2 more minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
okay. When we consider this show that the Thai public sector has low expectancy among personnel because the public sector personnel may no longer believe that their effort will lead to meaningful change in their economic status, which reduce their motivation to fully engage in their work. And the next, I will explain about challenges in compensation management in the Thai public sector. Key findings indicate that in the Thai public sector, there are have limitation of the government budgets because how the way manage compensation system in the Thai public sector is misappropriate and not appropriate in prioritization because in the Thai public sector provide compensation for increasing for pensions in Thai for retired personnel, and this is difficult to increase monetary compensation. Is effect to the Thai public sector struggle to provide competitive compensation when compared to the private sector. And the next challenge is inequity in the compensation system. Now, in the Thai public sector may seem equitable for compensation management for every personnel, but its lack of difference in pay based on performance. This leaves unfairness for these personnel who have high performance in their role. And the last challenge is compensation that fail to high performance personnel. Public sector can provide lower pay when compared to the private sector. And if high personnel who have ability to manage their finance as well, they may not concern about welfare and benefit that's provided by the public sector. And this is approach to compensation management in the Thai public sector to attract and retain high performance personnel. I suggest 3 ways for improving. The first is recruitment and selection of high performance personnel. Because of increasing high compensation is difficult due to the government budgets, but therefore we should focus on improving human resource management, beginning with workforce planning. If the Thai public sector make workforce planning by identifying personnel requirement based on necessity, it will help to increase human resource, increase high performance management, high performance personnel under limit budgets. And the next approach is promoting equity for individualized ability. The Thai public sector should consider more equitable compensation practice for high-performance personnel, particularly in individual ability. And the large approach is compensation allocate that supports stability and improve quality of life. In now the current workforce, as public personnel who must always respond to public interest. The Thai public sector must go beyond physical health support and consider mental health and work-life balance as well, because this factor will support job satisfaction, and it's so important in today's workforce. And this approach will show that.
Sorry for interruption. Can you please go to the conclusion?
Okay. In conclusion, to move forward, the Thai public sector must use a human-centered approach in compensation management in the Thai public sector, because this approach will not only help attract and retain high-performance personnel, but also encourage public trust in public service. And nowadays, the public sector must adapt yourself to society change, and that's why compensation should not add a fixed cost, but as an investment in the state. Most valuable asset is people. That's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
So, Dr. Mushtaq, we have one online, I think. Let me ask her because she already sent her pre-recorded presentation. 101, you still want to present your PPT? Paper ID 101,
Dr. Marley.
Marley. Are you available? 101. Paper ID 101. Though it is mentioned here on the in the program schedule that it is a video, but I'm still calling the presenter to come to share your screen and present if you want. If not, okay, we will proceed to the next presenter.
However, we have the last presentation in our physical room, and the presentation is also the poster presentation. So I'm going to invite for the poster presentation now. The title is a 673, Structure Design of Economically Viable and Robust Novel Electrode Material. Madam, please, you can. I will bring you up. Was there a poster? Okay, because you don't have the PPT, right? No. You can present from the iPhone. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. First, I introduce myself. I am Vinita Mariappan. I am working as a research faculty in National Cheng Kung University. I'm working under the Mechanical Engineering Department. The topic of my presentation is structure of design and economically viable and robust novel electrode material. The study is based on hydrogen energy. First of all, we already well known about HER is based upon the platinum based materials, but here I choose for the economically viable, that means the cheapest material for the hydrogen evolution reactions. First, the researcher have explored various materials to develop efficient and durable electrocatalysts aimed to reducing the over potential of the HER. Metals and alloys have been particularly spotlighted for their superior performance in the domain, attracting both scientific and industrial interest. The cost of the high-performance electrode material involved fulfilling the several criteria, including the catalytic activity and the stability. At the most important is the chemical and the mechanical performance also. Here we choose the three different part. That means we just improve the synergetic effect. Like we select the nanocluster, the iron nanocluster, because it's very cheapest compared to the platinum and the iridium, some of the different material. They are costly and less abundant also. So we prefer the low cost material like iron. Then the other one is I chose here as nickel cobalt manganese sulfide, trimetallic sulfide. That is also very cheapest. And one more thing that is less explored in this category of hydrogen evolution reactions. So I choose that is also the important material for my study. And I used carbon black as a supporting material because the mesoporous structures helped a lot for the study. Uh, most of considerable research has focused on non-precious metal of hydrogen evolution reaction catalysts in recent decades. So earth-abundant 3D transition metals such as iron, cobalt, and nickel have shown more promising catalytic material. That's why we select here as a composite material. And one more thing here, we choose the scalable technique like hydrothermal and the ultrasonication techniques. So we can easily prepare the catalyst. And for the study, I mean the electrochemical characterization study, we choose the 3 electrode cell setup. At the same time, we can choose the electrolyte as the potassium hydroxide, at the same side sulfuric acid also. In this result, I shown the sulfuric acid test for the LSV study. Comparative to the iron nanocluster, the performance is improved. The first one is the iron, next one is carbon black, the third one is nickel cobalt manganese sulfide, the fourth one is our composite. For the comparable study here, you select the platinum carbon as the standard material, and I get the result very nearly to the platinum carbon. The exact value of the potential is 1.23 volt for the electrolysis of water. But in this case, for the commercial batteries and some other, it's needed the potential 1.8. But here I get the value 282 millivolt. That means it's almost near to the commercial one. So hereafter we modify the structure and the size of the particles, we will get more value related to the expected value. So our study is have a conclusion like we developed the cost-effective HER electrode material based upon iron nanocluster incorporated nickel cobalt manganese sulfide supported carbon black as a composite by designing unique nanostructure and enhancing activities. We significantly improved the electrocatalytic performance supporting hydrogen technology across the various industries. The most important of this work is it's very low cost compared to the other materials. And here I choose as a carbon black as a supporting material. It's already well known one. At the same time, it's very cheaper one for this study also. That is my end of the section, I think. Thanks for the listening. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for all the presenters for your presentation. Doctor, you have any other presenter from your end?
I think we don't have 101 is pre-recorded presentation, so she's not presenting. and I think all other online participants are done with their PPTs. So we can proceed to the distribution ceremony online. But before that, let me have some concluding remarks regarding all these presentations, and then you can move ahead with the distribution ceremony. And I'm really very happy to have all of these participants, and I hope today in this session, and I hope that today they enjoyed this session. For me personally, it was really great experience with all of you. Thank you for participating in this conference, and I hope to see you again in our upcoming conferences and other academic activities. And as per I observed, all the presenters have very good research ideas, and they had put their efforts for the best. All the papers which I observed, the data was supported by good methodologies, methods, and theoretical frameworks, as well as achievable objectives. But still, as we had some comments and some suggestions for some papers, and other papers still also need to be improved in many aspects. So we need to pay attention to different aspects of the manuscripts before we submit it to a journal, and before we receive any decline or rejections from the journal. We need to pay attention to the language, grammar, English related things. So these are the things we need to keep in mind before submitting it to the journal. Here is the YouTube channel link. I will share it with you. Those who were unable to participate and they were not able to attend the live session, here in the chat box I am sharing the YouTube channel link. Let me check. Here.
Can I hold you here for a while?
Sorry?
Can I hold you here for a while? Because the last trip presentation, specifically for two, I have some question and suggestion as well before we conclude.
Oh, sorry. You have question and suggestions for the last two presenter. Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, please.
Okay, specifically first I go to the presentation 094 is Claudians, right? Okay, you was using the question in your abstract. Like I see a couple of questions. So technically in the abstract, no questions. You can add your objective, you can add your methodology and results. But what I'm suggesting, you are using not only one, but couple of questions. The second thing, you said that you have been interviewing 8 people. And we didn't see any 8 people results.
Okay, actually, it's gonna be on the paper. Like I provided all the.
Yeah, but in the presentation, like you mentioned in methodology, you have interviewed 8 people.
Yet 8 students.
8 students. And that was for the green consumer. Did you define for them what is the green consumption?
Actually, I tried to acquire how they do define the green consumerism. So it has to be coming from them. What's their perception?
That's why we didn't see the results. And the presentation size, we didn't see the results. So if you are adding them in the paper, it's very good, yeah. As you mentioned, but like in the presentation, I didn't see the results, so that's why. Okay. And the themes you have developed also. So my question is, are that the themes based on the results or it's based on the literature review?
Both. Actually, they are already coincide.
But because what I can see, maybe that theme is based on the literature review.
Actually, if you are going to sort all these themes that have emerged from the responses of the students.
Okay, your response is very small, 8 groups. So the theme you have developed That's a very specific theme, and it cannot be developed from the small group of the people. Especially then the first year, most of your participants are also just first year student, 6 or 7, right? 6 or 7 students from the first year who are just newly entered to the university.
Actually, that's quite surprising if you're going to look at the results. Like,
I didn't see the result. That's why I wanted to. You surprised me with the results. So it's good. You have the results?
in the paper.
No, I mean, you have the results with you.
Like, what do you mean by results exactly? Like the table?
Like when you, yeah, you have the paper with you.
Yes.
Later,
exactly.
okay, later after the session. Actually, I'm
interested.
interested in this topic. That's why I'm going on. Okay.
It will be better
Like
if
how you
you-
define the green products to your respondents and how they know about the green product
Yes.
and how they answer what were your question and how they answer and how then you develop a theme, okay, which you presented in the presentation. But I personally believe that's based on the secondary data. It doesn't come from the your interviews. So that's the few things I just wanted to mention. Thank you. Overall, your presentation is good. Then I have another question for 6 is 5. You have been more focusing on the warmth theory. Sorry? I mean, okay. First, I go to your title. Yeah. And your study also, it's more to the literature review. Am I correct? Your study is more to the literature review. You did not collected any primary data, either qualitative or quantitative. Are you getting my questions?
Yes.
It's just a literature review.
I use I use the info. I use the secondary data.
Secondary data. You need to revise your title. You have to mention, okay, it's a systematic literature review paper or a review paper, because your study is not based on the primary data. So my suggestion is you need to revise your title. Okay, this is number one.
Write an article, research, not article, because
Yeah, so when you are writing a paper with no results, so it's based on the review. Okay, so that's why we need to mention in our title. So that title will be more specific, whether it's a quantitative, qualitative, or okay. So since your paper is just a review paper, it doesn't have any results. Okay, so you revise the title.
Yeah.
You mention in the title, okay, so it's specified.
Review or systematic review.
You add systematic literature review. Okay. Second question for you. You've been since you are doing the revision, why you didn't revise the rewards? You know the rewards when the government, because you are working on the high performance of the employees. Okay, but you are working on the compensations.
Because I think rewards will make personnel to have motivation to perform in their work. And nowadays I think that personnel tend to perform in their work for rewards compensation to use it to living in everyone's life.
Yeah, but you just only focusing on one theory. I want you to add more theories, okay, and review more. Okay, and then you can also compare with the countries, okay, where government officially is highly performing, okay, and how they've been compensated with the rewards, with the incentives, psychologically, financially, what are the motivation for them? Because motivation is very subjective. For everyone is different. If she is employee, she been employee, I've been employee, maybe for her the motivation is different. For you may be different. to perform better in the job skill. So, and for individually, it's very much different. Maybe someone is attracted to the more financial rewards, they perform better. There are many, they are having a very high salary, still not performing. Our government prime minister is a highly salarized or maybe get high money, but still not performing.
Yes, it's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Our president's not performing. So what do you expect from the government employees to perform? So that's why the motivation, like now you are doing the revision. So just these are some suggestions for you. So you will improve your work. Okay. Thank you.
You have platform for my student.
Yeah, any other comments? She's your student.
Maybe like financial independence. What about the other motivation like police motivation? You have that mentioned other aspects. So it's the scope is being like so I agree with what Pinta has said that you have to do more or you have to research more since this is based on the research and this is based on literature, right? Have that collected data. So you have to research more and looking at other other aspects in relation. Oh, thank you so much.
And thank you. And especially for the last presenter, I definitely can say your paper is very much different from the others we've been listening. It's more it's more to the material engineering. Technically, my specialization is also material engineering. But I have to thoroughly go to your paper because you did not have a presentation over there, and I didn't read your poster also. Okay. I would love to have more communication with you. It's my specialization when it's come to the material engineering. We are very much different material, but I can appreciate and thank you again for joining us at the presentation. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Because she's working on the electrode material, is more to the other side. Mine is different. I'm working on the harvesting material. Okay, so anyways, I would love to have see the presentation, then only I can see. Okay. Thank you once again. We have done a very small engagement session again among the participants, and it's very helpful based on, I hope so, based on our recommendation, and they will improve their work in the future, or they will enhance more in their papers. So our Dr. Shakir, he will further explain as maybe most of you will be interested in your research paper publication. So he will discuss with you more. Okay, from me, all the best. And at the end, going to distribute the certification, and I did nominate one of the excellent among you. So, Shakir.
Just
and
wait for me 2-3 minutes, then we can move to the distribution ceremony.
Yeah, you can discuss. I need to look for the cameraman.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Mushtaq Ahmad, for the important comments and suggestions to the participants. I hope that it will be very helpful to their manuscripts and papers. And based on these suggestions, it will work to improve their papers for publication in different journals. Yeah, so coming toward sharing some important information, is I said that for the online participants in offline as well, your proceedings you and certificates, you will get it through your email after this session, and here is our email contact. If you have any question, I'm sharing it here in the chat box, you can note it, and contact us, our team regarding publication and other things. I'm also sharing our WhatsApp number. That's quite important for quick communication. Here in the chat box, you can aid this WhatsApp for further communication if you need it regarding the publication process or the English editing service or other things. This is an important contact number. You need to add it, and after adding this, I will add you to our WhatsApp group for getting the future information regarding the other academic activities, scholarships, and other events, some other important projects as well. So this is a very important WhatsApp number. I hope that all of you are using WhatsApp. That's an app for communication. Yeah, so this is our WhatsApp number, and let me check other information as well. Okay, so I already shared the YouTube channel link and the email contact and the WhatsApp number as well. If you have any question regarding publication, regarding certification or other things, you can ask me now. Or if you have questions later, you can add this WhatsApp number and ask us later.
Any question?
It's not so far.
The
The
WhatsApp
WhatsApp number was asked in the WhatsApp. How can we? So, we're interested in publishing our paper.
Okay,
Once
I
it
will
was,
give you the guidance.
publish.
I will give you the guidance.
Okay.
Okay,
You
so
have
you can show them this chat box and they can see the WhatsApp number. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you already have mentioned the WhatsApp number and the program schedule as well.
Well, it's already mentioned in the program schedule.
If I'm not mistaken, hold on a second. Yes, contact number, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Contact in the program schedule is mentioned.
No, that's another number. This one, this is another number. So you need to add this one.
Okay, hold on a second.
That's also a number from our team, but this is also a very important number.
Thank you. I think I will need this place to make our pictures. Later we have a good picture.
Yes, so please just take photos in front of the banner.
Yeah.
Okay. No. From here also. You can see, please. Okay, first I call Benita, please. Yes. Our uniform, what is your name? No, Richard. Huh? Richard. Richard. Let me check. I think I have this. Okay. Check your check. Yeah. No problem. Actually, yeah. And now I would like to invite the audience. Lolita. Benjamin. Now Shalini. And now for the accident presentation from the today's session, I'm going to invite the Benjamin.
Thank you.
He has the more energy while presentation. Everyone congratulate Benjamin for the very excellent presentation. And look and have a good picture. Yes. I will keep two chairs, so please. You know what I said? Okay. Let's have, please have a good picture. Please, in a minute. It's fine when you keep chairs, so at least one or two sit. Can I keep over there? Please. Professor, you come here, please. And then, second lady. And we a little bit moves, so please, please.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Smile, some restyle, boleh lah.
Okay. Okay, freestyle. 1,
Freestyle.
2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Next one. Turn. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
I would like to inform our audience online. We have celebrated with the certificates. We do have our group pictures as well, which we later on our team will send it to you. And I once again thank you all the presenters. All the presentations were very wonderful. I really enjoy the presentations from the different perspectives. Like we have the presentation discussing about the compensations. We have the presentation discussing about the indigenous people and some more. These all presentation in green consumers. This all are a very good presentation, including the material engineering presentation as well. So
So
from my
here
end,
we also have the online presentation, just two presentations, and I think the good paper award goes to Lolia. So we will send it to you later to your email.
Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We will be ending our session today, and I wish if you guys are also joining us for lunch, but unfortunately it's not possible through virtual. So we will be going for our lunch session. Any question?
Thank you so much. Yeah, online participants, if you have any question, you can ask me now, or if you you can add this WhatsApp number, you can ask any question later through WhatsApp. Okay, so thank you so much. See you again, and bye-bye. I'm going to end this session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.